here we go. And
Hi, my name is Jude, and I play alto saxophone in Sound of Some Prairie.
Awesome. And can you tell us a little about your instrument?
So I don't really know what to tell you about my instrument. It's a woodwind, I guess. So that means like I have to use like a reed. So I use like basically just bamboo to play it. And other than that, there's a lot of buttons I get to press. And that is really about it to talk about a saxophone, because it's a saxophone, I guess.
What do you like about sound?
Honestly, that's a hard question to ask a lot of people, because it's going to be different for every single person that you ask. And I think for me, it's the family that you make and the friends that you always get to keep. Like, I know the people that I make, or the people that I meet here, I will know for the rest of my life. Like people in like high school and whatever, like you'll see them, but they'll come and go. But the people from sound, I'll probably keep in touch with these people for a long time of my life, and I'll come back to see them and support them. And it's just like we build such a nice community here that is really welcoming for everybody, and it's just always really fun to see and just be a part of.
How will you use this experience throughout your life?
Boy, sound has really taught me like to be on time. Like, you know, one of our sayings is to be early is to be on time, and to be on time is to be late. And that is something that I've really used for like work and stuff. Like you never want to be late for a shift, and you don't want to be definitely not late to anything else in your life. That's just never a good thing to do. And it's also especially like, it really tells you like, because you know you can have fun in sound, but you also really need to be serious when you need to be. And I think that's a really good virtue to have, is to, you know, like be serious when you need to be, but also, you know, just have a little bit of fun side, I guess.
What strengths do you have that you believe make you a great musician?
I'm very good with the flow, and I think it's really fun, especially for music. Like if you hear something, you can just start kind of just going with it, seeing what works, seeing what doesn't work, and I think that is really good for music. Maybe not sound, because you have to be very rigid with how you play in sound, but like for other musics like jazz and maybe even concert, you know, you got to be a little bit more like free with it and like improv and just, I mean, I guess that.
I'm a member of the saxophone section in the Sound of Some Prairie.
And I'm Nova Summer, and I am part of the Sound of Some Prairie as well, and I am a member of the trumpet section.
And we are 2022's drum majors.
What makes this group special?
Just about everything. It's the bonds that you create with people. You're with people a lot. And while some people may think that creates a lot of tension being around people all the time, you actually build your own family here.
What is unique about being a drum major?
We have a larger opportunity to be able to bring more smiles to everyone's faces. We're able to see each section divided up. We are divided by section, but united by harmony.
What are you looking forward to this summer?
Performing together. We're going to Disney this summer, and normally that would be my first response. But just seeing us all together on the field in that performance mode is just something I'm really looking forward to.
Why do you think this program has lasted so many years?
people want to come back. We create an environment that is welcoming, and people just really enjoy their time here, and it makes people want to come back.
It's a part of that family that you create, and it's not just people in your year. You can be a fifth year and still create like a brother or sister or sibling bond with them, and that makes you come back after you age out and come and see those shows.
And finally, can you just maybe each explain kind of what, just tell us a little bit about being a drum major, like what it all entails?
We do attendance at the top of every block. We make sure that our cones and our podium are out. We are basically morale boosters as well. We are support pillars if anyone needs a shoulder to cry on or an ear to listen. We are there. We truly want to see our band happy.
We also conduct the show. We are on the podium. Everyone on the field is watching us, and it's our job to try to keep time along with center snare. That's like pretty much it.
Yeah.
The main bit. Hey, my name is Avery Thompson. I played the baritone in the South Prairie, and I've been here for 3 years.
What do you like about sound?
I personally like all the friends I made. I made so many close friends inside sound than I did outside. Like, I had a lot of toxic friends like in school, and then I joined sound, and it's really like, wow, like people who treat me with respect and don't treat me poorly, and it really meant a lot to me. So yeah, I'd say the friendship and the bonds you make.
What do you like most about playing music?
I really like how loud we get. It's really fun and it's satisfying, especially being in a low brass. I think it's really fun to do, especially like in the outside environment. You sound way different outside than you do inside, so it's really fun to project that noise, and it's just great. I really like it.
What strengths do you personally believe make you a great musician?
I think I pursue confidence pretty well. Like, even if I play like a wrong note, I just kind of go with it, because I heard this from a jazz clinic, is if you play it loud or quiet, it's still a wrong note, isn't it? So like, you should play it confident and loud, because then people may not notice, and that's the thing, because I was learning that in jazz band too, is you play loud, people won't realize because you're confident in that, and then it just doesn't seem like a mistake anymore. Like, oh, that's supposed to happen. So I think I'm pretty good at being confident when I play.
And lastly, can you tell us a little bit about what it's like to play your instrument?
I love my instrument. It's like, it's a baritone, like I said earlier. It's kind of like a large trumpet, like a euphonium, but made to march with. What's interesting is that we have these like guards to protect it, so that when we put it on the ground, it doesn't damage it. And like, same here, you can see some scuffs on it. And it's really fun to like just get super loud, and we play like lower notes. We like bring everything up, and then we still get like features. Like, we have a few features in this year's show. And also, I like how difficult it can be sometimes to hold it up, because it's kind of heavy. And it's just like, again, really satisfying when you do that for a full 9 minutes of our show, because like, it's really difficult and it hurts really bad, but it makes you really strong. And I really love that. So it's a very good instrument. I recommend playing it if you ever get the chance.
Lendy. I play the tuba, and I'm a student in Sanderson Prairie.
Can you tell us a little bit about what it's like to play your instrument?
So I play the tuba, which is the best instrument. And the best thing about a tuba is that you have all the other tubas that you are playing with. It's less the individual power of playing this massive instrument. It's that you're with an entire section of people also playing a massive instrument. And it's really fun to play, to just make sounds with all those people.
What do you think makes the Sound of Sun Prairie program so unique?
Well, the unique part about it is since we meet from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. for about a month and a half, it's a lot of effort that you have to put in, and it's a lot of discipline, and you really have to keep yourself honest, and my diet changes, my entire mind space and head space changes for that summer, and it's just really interesting when you put all of your effort, everything you can do into one activity, how far you can get in that activity.
And finally, what do you hope to get out of the program?
Well, I really like how it's shaped me as a person. I feel stronger, independent. I feel a stronger sense of independence, and I really feel like I can connect with people so much easier after being in this group of people where everyone is supportive. And not everyone starts supportive, but if everyone's friendly to each other, then you learn how close you can get with someone else in a very short amount of time, and it's really fun.
Hi, I'm Embry Way. I play the snare drum, and I am a student in Sanderson Prairie.
Can you tell us a little bit about playing your instrument?
Yeah, so the drum line is kind of the heartbeat of the band, because it's not just snare drums. You have also the tenor drums, and you have the big bass drums. So we all kind of just have to work together to create a heartbeat for the band, and we also control a lot of the tempo and pulse that the band plays with.
What's so important about the percussion section in sound?
I mean, other instruments may say this, but I believe that we are probably one of the most important, because without us, the group could easily get lost in tempo. But also I feel like there's so much variety too, because it's not also just drumline. The whole percussion section includes the front ensemble. So they're playing their mallet instruments up in front, and they're taking charge of melodic and rhythmic things up there, and we're kind of just on the field playing with the other horns, and I guess we all just kind of work together to create a solid foundation for the band to play with.
How do you hope to use this experience in sound as you go into the future?
I guess I'd like to use sound. I guess I would just like to grow more in sound and get a good foundation to study music further on in college, or to perform in higher level marching bands like DCI that we're sort of a part of this year, perform in some other groups. So I guess I just hope to take the skills and techniques that I've learned in this ensemble and carry it forward into whatever I do for music next.
What do you like about playing your instrument?
I really like how it's kind of different than what you would normally play in a concert percussion setting, because you have your different grip that you're using for snare. And I guess I just like how much fun it is just to play loud. And you get to do different things that you normally can't do, like whether you're playing drum set or just like a regular snare drum. And I also just like jamming out with a bunch of my friends. So.
My name is Zoe. I play clarinet, and I am a student of SOSP.
Can you tell us a little about playing your instrument?
Yeah, so I play clarinet, and it is a woodwind, which is kind of rare in marching bands because typically, like especially in DCI, which is like professional marching bands, I guess I would say, there are no woodwinds. It's only brass instruments, so we kind of add a little pizzazz in terms of like moving lines, and we've got some more moving notes.
What do you like about sound?
A lot of things. I like that my day is like fully planned out for me. It's 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. So from basically like when I wake up to when I go to bed, my whole day is really like planned. The other thing I like about it is it teaches you a lot of responsibility and maturity. I've noticed that especially with like first years and younger students that they gain a lot of knowledge in terms of like learning more about themselves and what they're capable of, and just really teaches them to push their limits and just really grow as a person.
What strengths do you have that you believe make you a great musician?
That's so hard. I guess for me personally, just like in terms of clarinet, I have like a pretty good airflow. I also, I don't know, I just play strong, and that's something interesting about sound is that you have to play like a lot louder, and my instrument is like non-directional, so like I can't direct my bell angle directly like at the box. Instead it's down pointing at the ground, so I don't project as much. So just having as much airflow as I can. But I guess also in terms of that, I would say just passionate, and being passionate about my instrument, and yeah.
Hello, I'm Kaya,
Hi, I'm Alea.
and we are in color guard of South Prairie.
Can you tell us a little bit about what color guard is?
Color guard is what makes the show pretty.
So,
Go ahead.
okay, so like, yeah, like we have like the band, they have their movements, they have their shapes that they make, but like color guard tends to just add more like flavor in a way. Like we add more like, we add more pizzazz to it.
I feel that the show, or color guard tells the story of the show. So the show has a theme, and the band can't necessarily portray all of the attributes to that just as themselves. So color guard puts a story to it. Like I have a solo in the ballad. It's very dramatic. I'm trying to tell a story of our show, how like during night it's dark, sad.
What do you think makes color guard unique?
There's not much else like it because color guard's only really in marching bands. Like you can play an instrument in other kinds of bands, jazz bands, concert band, marching band, but color guard's only marching. There's not much beyond that.
What are some of the benefits and struggles of being in color guard?
Benefits, personally I would say probably learning how to do makeup.
even though I would probably still not know how to do it properly. And then probably like the people you meet and like kind of how you like build yourself as a person.
I think color guard is just a really cool thing to like show off to people outside of the group. Just be like, hey, I can spin a 6-foot flag and make it look cool and do it in time. I think it's fun.
Struggles wise, probably like when I first started, it was kind of hard to like we'll go through like marching basics and it'll be like, yeah, this is easy, but then like our instructors will teach us a flag routine and then now we have to march and do the flag routine and not hit anybody. So it's like we have like a lot of things to like kind of worry about, but then after a while it kind of just flows with it.
So what inspired you guys to be a part of Color Guard? Because obviously you don't do this throughout the rest of the year.
No, I just know I started at Sound of Some Prairie 5 years ago, and I absolutely loved it then. And I'm more here for the group, to watch the group grow. And this is my last chance to do something like this, because beyond this high school band, I'm not going to be doing marching bands anymore. But I've just had the chance to make a family here and grow a lot, and I loved it.
For me, I wanted to be a French horn in marching band, but I came to realize that it was harder for me to like memorize music than to just memorize like flag movements and dance moves to go with the music. And like, yeah, counting's important too, but like when I listen to the music, I just tend to remember like the word more than to like make the music and try to remember like my dots and stuff.
And finally, what do you guys personally hope to get out of Sound of Some Prairie?
Just some good friendships. The fact that I got to spin flags for 5 years was really cool. I can take that on with the rest of my life. It makes you a lot stronger, being able to spin something so large on a field, trying to make it look good. It just gives you a lot. It makes you feel strong, it makes you feel powerful. And I feel like you get to actually perform, because I get to smile, I get to like be like, hey, look at me, look what I'm doing over here.
I just want like a moment in my adult year where I can just look at a flag and be like, I spin that in high school.
Matt McVeigh, I'm the director of Sound of Some Prairie. One of the things that I think is funny, I did not grow up in Sun Prairie, I grew up in Stevens Point, and I was doing the State Honors Jazz Ensemble. You know, I was like a junior in high school. The piano player in that group, every single time we had a break, would grab drumsticks and would just like, you know, work on her chops, right? Work on developing that. And I remember talking to her like, what are you working on? And she was like, oh, Sound of Some Prairie. I'm like, well, what is this thing like Sound of Some Prairie? And so I learned about it, and actually I was friends with a lot of students who went to Sun Prairie High School, even though I wasn't from this community. So I think it's kind of wild now that I'm teaching in the school district, and that I'm one of the directors of, you know, that exact experience that students would talk about, or I learned about, you know, all the way back from when I was a high school student in a completely different community. I think one of the things that is really important to the group of students that we have this year is that this is an activity that is not run for 2 years. Certainly is not run in the way that these students, you know it. Because of COVID, there were so many restrictions, and it's an intense thing. It's an intense thing with a lot of travel and a lot of that stuff involved. So due to a lot of different restrictions, whether that was restrictions you know, from the municipalities, from the school district, or even the governing body that we are a part of as a marching unit, we weren't able to function. So the fact that we are able to come back this year, I think, is a really, really meaningful experience. And I know that there's students who feel really, really special about them being the group of students that get to bring this back, which I also think is really, really important to them. This is a special year for this group because we're celebrating our 50th anniversary. And I think, you know, 50 years of anything is a special thing. I think when you think about Sun Prairie, when you think about just kind of the precipice that we are on as a community, as we are growing at an unprecedented rate, and there's a lot of changes obviously within that, the fact that we have a 50-year tradition that we can celebrate in a way that I think is really special to this community, that's awesome, right? Because I think that we kind of have one foot in history, but also another foot in moving forward and growing well into the future, I think, which is really, really awesome. Something that I'm really proud of with this group in particular is that we have a lot of young students and a lot of students who have never done this before. So like any other organization, we depend on experience, we depend on leadership, and we definitely have that. At the same time, we have a very, very large portion of our group, larger than normal, that has not had this experience before. So I think that that's been something that just seeing that group come together, I've heard a lot of students in their own interviews just talk about family, talk about belonging, talk about making a contribution to something that's larger than yourself, and how that value has kind of permeated like every level of our organization, I think is really, really important and something that I'm super proud of. And it bodes well because right when there's those values moving forward, I know that there's a young group of students here that want to kind of pick up that mantle and write their own chapter in what will be the 51st year and the 52nd year and 53rd year of the Sound of Sun Prairie.
So, Mark Davison. Yeah. Tell me about a little bit about your background, how you came to be the performance director of Sun Prairie Sound, if you don't mind. A little short bio.
Marched for 4 years in high school. Went to school to be a music ed major, and came back, started teaching, and just kind of worked my way up over the past 21 years.
So originally from Sun Prairie?
Yes. Yep.
Awesome. What makes this year of Sound special?
That we're actually able to do it and get together again. Told the kids that it's been 1,076 days since we had our last performance together. So tonight will be our first performance in our uniforms in over 1,000 days.
And isn't there an anniversary of the program this year?
50th anniversary. We started the group in 1972, and then has kept going all the way up through 2022 here.
Tell me a little bit about your traveling schedule. I know you do some shows out of state. Can you tell me a little bit about what lies ahead?
Yeah, so we are competing in a sound sport group that's put on by Drum Corps International this year. So we will be kind of opening up a lot of the drum corps shows around the Midwest. So we have some in the state of Wisconsin, going to Iowa, and then we're going to cap off our 50th anniversary with going down and marching at Disney, and it's also their 50th anniversary, Disney World's 50th anniversary as well this summer. So it seems like a good fit to kind of tie those two things together, and that'll be our final performance of this summer.
And what kind of what do kids? This is a real broad question, so you answer it any way you want. What do kids get out of being in sound?
A lot of things, everything. So one of the things that we really strive for is what can be accomplished when we work together. And they develop friendships that last an entire lifetime because we're together all day, every day, where all those other distractions are set. You can't really have a job during this because we're here all the time. And when we get home, we're just too tired to do anything but go to sleep, so we can come back and do it again the next day. So the level of detail, how far they can push themselves, really applies to everything in their life, and putting all that time into this year, like a 7-minute show, just shows what you can actually accomplish when you focus and have that determination and working together, and what we can accomplish is just pretty outstanding, and it applies to everything in their life.
Explain to me a little bit more detail the intensity of the schedule, because I know it's very intense. From when to when, and how many hours a day, and
yeah. So we have three rehearsal blocks on a non-performance day. So we do 3 hours in the morning, 3 hours in the afternoon, 3 hours in the evening with some meal breaks put in there. But yeah, basically they wake up, they come here, we get done, they go home. Hopefully they shower and go to bed.
what months of the year?
So we do that for about 5-6 weeks after school's out. We'll have
Okay.
some weekend rehearsals kind of starting in March, kind of gearing up for things, getting ready for Memorial Day parade and things like that. And then when school gets out, we kind of make this everyone's full-time commitment until about the middle of July.
And what kind of kids are attracted to being in sound?
Wide range. We have from all bands at the high school, the top groups to the non-audition groups. It appeals to a lot of different people in different ways. But when you start hearing stories of why they want to do it, or why it's generally about being with their friends, developing those friendships, and then once they kind of get the taste of that, they don't want to do anything else.
Are you doing anything in the show that reflects the 50th anniversary, or is it just the best damn show you can put on for this year?
So we kind of tied our show Sunscapes with being the 50th anniversary of Sun Parade. We kind of tied that in, and with the circular passage of the sun, where it renews every day, and we started over, kind of a nice thing coming out of our COVID pause and getting back into it, celebrating the 50th year, just kind of tying it to the city that we call home, and so far the kids have really enjoyed it, bought in, and are having a great time with it.
So you were totally shut down for 2 years, or was it?
We had a couple rehearsals in the spring of 20, and then we had to shut down, and then in 21, our performance schedule couldn't line up with what our normal typical season, so we weren't able to perform there. We did a little bit at a football game this past fall, but our normal heavy, intense rehearsal days we haven't been able to really do since 2019.
Anything else you'd like to add?
No, I mean, great group of kids. They give me energy for being here 14 hours a day.
Sure.
And the values that they get out of it, the values that I get out of it, it's just second to none, and that's why I keep coming back. I'll be back for 22 years next year and well into the future. So.